Hello and welcome back. We are continuing our journey on the Manchester Airport Commuter Service DLC on Rain Sim World 6. And today we are completing the scenario entitled Unit Swap. And the brief is, the train booked to work a stopping service from Crewe to Manchester has failed. As a result, you'll be running a new service from Alderley Edge. But first, you must set up your train at Stockport Carriage Sidings. So, let's crack on. So first of all, we need to walk to your train in front of you. Double check there's nothing coming. We go, and we are climbing aboard. Steps we go, a bit more realistically than some of the trains. And we are turning on the tail light. I'm going to stay inside because it's raining. Make our down the carriage. Doors as we go. Need to do that. This door. Like my character is on overdrive today. How? Okay. So, sitting in the driver's seat, we're setting the headlights to day ahead, putting the key, reverse to forward, wipers to intermittent 2. We are heading down Stockport Viaduct. Let's get going. A little. So, I've been discussing lately, how do we go about earning those elusive platinum badges, platinum medals? A little bit there. Some break. To going only 5 miles, but there we go. While we're making our way out of the yard, how do we go for elusive platinum medals? What is it the game is looking for? I can pretty consistently get gold, but seems more challenging than it seems to go for the platinums. So what do we have to do? If you've got any hints or tips, leave them in the comments, please, because I would very much appreciate them. Also, if there's any other DLCs that you would recommend that are of similar quality to this DLC, then I would be interested to hear your thoughts on them and your recommendations for the next one to purchase. So, still at 5 miles. We join the decline and 15, so we can increase speed. Too much. No point increasing speed to the 75 miles an hour speed limit of this line as we're coming back off again at 15. So yeah, those of you who are familiar with Manchester and in particular Stockport, you'll be familiar with this viaduct. Huge thing it is. Very iconic of Stockport. Really impressed with the quality of this DLC. as I've said in my previous videos, it really captures the ambience of being on a train, operating a train. Got the sound effects of the rain hitting the glass, got the sound effects of the announcements. Bring it to a gentle stop. We are in the brake. Roll to 3. Turn in the headlight. Turn in the tail lights on. Oops. Too soon. We don't need the wipers on if we're travelling the other direction. Let's make our way back through the train. Rather than jump out. Track. So it feels really immersive walking through this train. Obviously, if you've been on these trains, it's not altogether entirely realistic because this version is clean. But it is very realistic to the trains that you will be familiar with from Northern trains. So put ourselves back down and key in, reverser, turn the tail lights to lights to day running, windscreen wipers to intermittent 2, and well, let's make our way to Alderley. So on this mission, it's obvious, as you can see, it's raining, it's dull, it's grey, it's very reminiscent of Manchester weather when it's at its worst. Very much pea super out there. So we're going to make our way at 15 miles an hour to begin with. Not going to be pushing this too much. Try and stay within the speed limits, although I went outside the speed limit coming out of the yard then. We switch in track. This is smooth. Staying at 15 miles an hour as we pass through Stockport Station. And we are, the looks of things, passing through platform next to platform. What is it? We'll check. That's 3 cars stop. What platform are we going through here? Not sure entirely. Seems to be able to see a sign for it. Keep the speed up. And speed has now increased to 35 miles an hour. We've got 7.6 miles to go to Alderley Edge. We are expected to arrive at 7:40 and 30 seconds. So what I've been trying to do to maximise the early bonus is trying to figure out the most efficient braking pattern depending on speed. So making sure that if I am going, say for instance 60 miles an hour, I decide to start braking at with about 800 yards to go. If I leave it a bit later, then I'll start braking at brake level 3 on this class 3, is that right? pass. 323, I was correct the first time. Since my last video I've been fiddling around with the assists just to see what difference it makes, and its speed has increased to 60, so we'll go to full power and move off. And its speed has increased to 100 miles an hour, and we have passed green signals so we can go at the full speed. This train has a speed of 90 miles an hour, I believe, so we would not be reaching the 100 miles an hour. For those of you who travel by train to London from Manchester will know that it goes through Stockport, so the likes of those trains travel at 100 miles an hour. So let's see if we can make it to Alderley Edge by 7:40. Picking up speed nicely. I've decided to, on the driver's aids in the top right hand corner there, I've put that up because I think it's useful while you're learning the routes and becoming more familiar with the speed changes along the route, to use them to your advantage. Because I suppose if you were learning a route in real life, you would have somebody who is familiar with the route telling you exactly what speed you need to be doing, what to expect along the way, which would be useful. But there you go. And we've passed the 90 miles an hour mark. We're at 93, 94 miles an hour, so the train is doing quite well. We'll check the speed limit, the maximum speed on these trains. 90 miles an hour, so maybe we are pushing it a bit beyond its scope. So I'm just going to go into coasting there, just to be on the safe side, keep the mechanical integrity of the train intact. So we've got green light again. And from the driver assist we've got ambers coming up, and I will not be reacting to them until I see them in the distance. As I've said, general rule of thumb for me anyway, unless you want to try and push it and the train's running late, is to aim for half the speed limit, and that usually allows the signals to catch up with themselves. It makes driving through those ambers a little bit more comfortable. You don't always have to stop at the red lights. So keeping an eye on the signals coming up. We've got green again, adding power again. Let's take advantage. Oh, a bit late now. I was gonna say let's take advantage of the downhill slope, but now we're going uphill again, and we're on the flat again. So Alderley Edge is now 2 miles ahead, and I think I'm going to coast it now until it is time to apply brakes. And we've got double ambers there, so I'm going to apply some brakes, bring it to roughly 50 miles an hour. Again, I've had a bit of a cheeky look at the route assist there, and as we can see, the next light after the one coming is a red light. There we can see in the distance we've got the amber. The speed has dropped to 50. Release the brake, coast it for a little while. And this time round, braking should be pretty straightforward. Anyway, we're having to stop for this red light coming up. I'm going to bring it down to a bit of a crawl. See what happens with this light. We've changed to amber. Such is life. Apply a little bit more power. We are approaching the station, so we are switching lines, and this is where I come unstuck sometimes, because we switch lines and the driver assist indicates that the maximum speed there is 40 miles an hour, but there doesn't always seem to be any indication of that is the speed that you need to be going. So whenever you are going down this line at, say, a faster speed, for instance, you can sometimes find yourself going through the switching points a little bit too fast, and it's a bit ridiculous, a bit unrealistic. In real life, maybe the train would derail. And we're going to apply the brake to braking 2. Till we get to about 10 miles an hour if we're not hit. And so I've been trying to work on just my accuracy with stopping exactly where it's asking me to stop. Keep my eye on the yardage. So 35 yards to go. 10 miles an hour. So there, I'm going to put those brakes. Probably overshot that a little. And that's... Oh, nope. That's saying turn the wipers off. I will turn the wipers off. I'm assuming what I'm doing here. Turn the headlights off. Oops. And the tail lights on. Reverser. And we're changing ends again. Sit ourselves down. Put your key in, reverser, tail lights off. And these little guides are good because over time you get used to the procedures for setting the train up. Now, fantastic. Showing you. Oh. Oh.
The next station is Wilmslow. This is a northern.
Double check that. Have I opened those doors? Nope, don't open them. Whew. Right. Anyhow, so a Great Ureasor. The train signs and signals. And Train Sim World community on Facebook. Check those out. And they've put on a really handy guide. Signal and sign beams. So we've got double flashing ambers there. Which means flashing advance warning, diverging route and speed reduction approaching. So is that what I was looking on the lookout before? If the signal points were changing? I'm not sure. Anyhow, we are now running slightly behind. We were expected it to be in Wilmslow at 7:44, 30 seconds. So let's get that power applied and let's get to Wilmslow. However, I don't think that's perhaps a fault of ours, because from the brief, the scenario. Train has failed, so we are helping that train, and now we've got a single flashing amber, and the single flashing amber means diverging route and speed reduction at next signal. Okay, so let's see what happens as we approach that next signal. Just going to keep it at 50 miles an hour. But then the next signal after that, it is showing 50 miles an hour. Maximum speed limit, so I'll probably reduce that again. So we've got the diverging route and the sign there now. So I'm going to slow it down a little. I'm going to say I'm going through, and the point has changed. Going across here. The route has diverged.
We are now approaching Wilmslow.
Please mind the gap.
Okay, so let's maintain this comfortable speed as we approach Wilmslow. To ensure everything is above board. Let's just forget that little oversight coming out the yard before. Let's apply that brake, because we want to be going roughly 25 to 30 miles an hour at the start of the platform. Coming down nicely. And apply a second notch of brakes to bring us up to stopping point. Gonna be able to stop.
This is Wilmslow. This is
Lock
a
those
northern
doors.
service to Manchester Piccadilly. The next
It'll be interesting to see what the score is at the
end.
end. So we're making our way next to Style. After we've loaded these passengers, we close the doors and we will be making our way to Style. The next stop will be Style. So yeah, this channel's not just about Train Simulator, it's about all simulators. So if there's any simulators out there that you would like to recommend, or any simulators that you would like to see me play, please put them in the comments and I will endeavour to check them out. And while you're there, why not leave a like and a subscribe? Just while you're there, be nice.
The next station is Style.
We're
This
stopping
is a
at Style.
northern service to
We were
Manchester
expected at
Piccadilly.
Style 45 seconds ago, so let's keep that speed up. No, that's not too bad though, just 1 minute behind schedule. Well, actually, we're not going to be 1 minute behind schedule. Probably be about 3 minutes by the time we get there. But we've got green lights now, so we can proceed as normal. Let's take that speed up to 50. Go to coasting. Coasting downhill on a 0.2% downhill gradient. The speed limit's just changed to 65. Be cheeky, let's just eke that little bit of speed and time out of the remaining speed limit. And we have another single flash amber. Remember, that means that there is a diverging route and speed reduction at next signal. It's approaching double ambers. So So we can now start applying that brake.
We are now approaching Stile.
I'm going to go to 2 notches of brake.
Between the train and the platform, and take care when stepping down from the train.
And it's more of a trial. Excuse me. It's more of a trial and error process when practicing your braking. So there's a speed reduction sign coming up, and that is after the station. So proceed. Let's approach nice and on. Apply that brake again. Bring us to that stop.
This is Stile.
Hey.
This is
Unlock those
northern
doors.
service to Manchester Piccadilly. The next
At the people of
station
Stile
is
onto our train.
Manchester Airport.
On our way to Manchester Airport. But we have that diversion route at the next signal. Let's see what happens there. Passengers are taking their sweet time. And again, now we're approaching 4 minutes behind schedule. So let's just keep going as best as we can. There's a lot of the power. 1 notch of power just to get us moving. Apply that 2nd notch. Once we're
The
moving
next station
past 10
is
miles an hour.
Manchester Airport. This is a northern
By
service to
full power.
Manchester Piccadilly.
Let's see how that diverges. See what's coming up. So we had that speed reduction of 40, so I'm going to stick to the 40, I think, for now. Again, if I'm not doing this right, by all means, comment below, because I'd like to get better at it. As I said, I do play this game for fun, and we've got a... is that a red light for us there? Going amber. Am I allowed to pass this? I think it just changed then. So we are going to be switching tracks momentarily, and the speed limit for that is 40 miles an hour. Let's just keep it at 40. There's the diverging route. Yeah, as I was saying, this particular DLC I'm finding really immersive. It's much more immersive than the standard routes that come with Train Simulator. And there's an aircraft coming into land, showing us that we are not too far away from Manchester Airport now. Maintain that 40 miles an hour. Is it worth going to the 50? Just add a little bit more power just to get us there. So we've got an amber light coming up, so apply a little bit of brake, and we are over speeding. So we'll take that hit. I wonder in real life if
We are now approaching Manchester Airport.
train drivers
Between the train and the platform, and take care when stepping down from the
actually
train.
from time to time speed. No. Is there a penalty for speeding on the railway for drivers? I don't know. please do let me know in the comments. And I've overspent again because I'm too busy thinking about if there is a penalty for speeding. Ironically, speeding. So let's approach here, and as we enter this tunnel, apply those brakes, bring it down to 10 miles an hour. Do come to a gentle stop of the line. I don't know if you can hear that, but is that little squeaky sound to signify that
This is Manchester
this
Airport.
window is
This is
drier
a
because
northern
we're
service
undercover.
to Manchester Piccadilly.
Unlock
The
those
next
doors.
station is Field Green.
Again, nice little attentions to detail. I think it definitely is. And if you've got your stereo sound on, you can hear that it's coming from this window, which is the window that's predominantly undercover. Again, that kind of attention to detail makes all the difference, I think. So we're loading the passengers. We have to wait until 7:59. So I think from here I will jump to 7:59, because otherwise I will be chatting to you for 2 minutes whilst we watch the windscreen wipers wiping a dry window. But when you are in these kind of games, some of the things that you notice are the attentions to detail in the actual stations. We have working lifts, working escalators. The layout is very authentic to the real thing. So yeah, we'll leave it there and we'll wait until 7:59. Okay, so we're shutting down the cab. Again, wipers off, headlights to off, tail lights to on,
The next station is Field Green. This is
and
a northern
we
service
are
to
switching
Manchester
ends
Piccadilly.
again. Feel like I've done more laps up and down this train than I've ever done on any mission, actually. If there are any scenarios where you find yourself walking up and down the train loads and loads of times, let me know and I'll have to give them a go. So, faster key in, reverser set to forward. We've got the tail lights off on this end. We've got the lamp lights to stay ahead. Intermittent 2. And let's make our way to Heald Green. Keep it nice and easy. Leaving the station, maximum speed. I think that's probably a good thing for me, is just to say out loud the maximum speed every time. 25 miles an hour at the moment. The next speed coming up is 40 miles an hour, so let's keep it below 25. We've got a slight uphill gradient, so that will help us just to keep that speed down. Set that alter off. Increasing to 40 as we switch to the next line, to the main line, and our next speed is 60 miles an hour, which is coming up in 20. Let's apply that power, because we should now be in a position where the time get through. Yep. Now increase to 60 miles an hour. Looks like we're changing tracks again. And so I'm assuming that is changing track. And that's what the next speed limit of 40 miles an hour is for. So let's see if there's anything coming up now that will tell me, or you tell me in the comments, is it an unwritten rule that all speed limits through main lines are 40 miles an hour? I mean, unless I missed it then. I didn't see anything that said 40 miles an hour coming up. Again, is that just another thing where you just have to learn it as part of the route? Let's maintain that 40 coming around this bend. And we'll increase to 75 as we join the main line.
This is a reminder. We are now approaching Heald Green.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform, and take care when stepping down from the train.
We're approaching Heald Green, and what time were we expected at Heald Green? 3 minutes past 8. Apply that brake in. Again, trying to just be accurate with where I finished. Was 2-3 yards away then. To lock the doors.
Manchester Piccadilly. The next station is Gatley.
If any of you have ever played this DLC, can say to me that they honestly don't feel like they are driving a real train. I think you'd be lying to me, because this just feels so immersive with all the noises of the announcements in the background there, locking the doors. I mean, that noise of the doors shutting is such a familiar noise to me. I used to travel to and from Liverpool every weekend for nearly a year, so I was not unaccustomed to the sights and sounds of the railway, in particular northern trains. Gatley, we're expected at Gatley at 6 minutes past, so let's see if we can make up any time. Probably won't. Let's see what we can do. We have 35 seconds to get there. Not going to happen. But let's try and minimise the impact. So, keeping my fingers crossed, it looks like now we might have a reasonably clear run through. Concentrate, 75 miles an hour is the speed. Off to coasting. And as soon as the miles to go starts counting down in yards, that's when I like to think about starting to brake. So apply the brake 2, coming down from 75 miles an hour. Obviously you would leave it a little bit later if you were going slower.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform and take care when stepping down from the train.
So as we approach the station, we're looking for 30 miles an hour by the beginning of the platform. There we roughly have it. We'll call it 25, although it's quite a short platform this, so we can probably be forgiven. Just going to leave it there, and that probably one of my best attempts at one-shot braking.
This is
We go
Gatwick.
2 yards.
This is a northern service to Manchester Piccadilly. The next station is East Didsbury.
East Didsbury next. The weather's still terrible out there. And I don't know what it is about the weather, but it seems to make the passengers board the train much slower than normal. Let's lock the doors. And to make up that time, got 45 seconds now to get to Didsbury. Apply that power.
The next station is East Didsbury. This is a northern service to Manchester Piccadilly.
I have full power. I thought I'd let you listen to the full announcement there. Anyone who's thinking about getting this DLC, I think it's time you did yourself a favour and just went out and bought this, because it is such a fantastic DLC. Think of all the DLCs I've ever bought across any platform, any game. It is one of the most exciting to me because it's so immersive. It really is. And we've gone to the yardage there, so I'm going to go to braking 2. That, I think, should bring our speed down nicely.
East Didsbury.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform and take care when stepping down from the train.
This one doesn't feel like it's going to be a one-shot brake. Release those brakes a little. I think so. There's nothing wrong with that though. As they say in the travelling world, arrive alive, that's what's important. The brakes a little bit more.
This is East
Did we get
Didsbury.
straight on it there? I'm not
This is
sure.
a northern service to Manchester Piccadilly. The next station is Burnage.
We're going to Bernage. East Didsbury, one of the poshest parts of Manchester. Again, people taking their sweet time to get on the train. Let's have a little look outside. There's actually no one there. What's going on? Right, so let's crack on. Lock those doors. And away we go. Apply power 1. We're moving, so I'm just going to apply power 2. And make that time up. Now we've just passed the time we're supposed to arrive at Burnage.
This is a northern service to Manchester Piccadilly.
It's less than a mile away though, so probably not going to apply power for too long, but we're not going to dawdle around. I mean, the train does pick up speed quite quickly actually, so not too bad. I mean, we're over 50 miles an hour there now. You know, I'm going to wait until it says 600 yards to go, and I'm going to apply 2 notches of brake and see what that does. And here's your 2 notches. I was a little bit late with that one. Let's see what that does. A little fast approaching the edge of the platform there. Oh, what have I got? The TSW6 Proclaimer. Drive any locomotive for 500 miles within the speed limit. Oh well, thank you very much. Release those brakes so we're not stopping short. Apply the brakes again.
This is Burnage.
Open the doors.
This is a northern service to Manchester Piccadilly. The next station is Maldith Road.
Sorry, I missed that. Next station, Maldith Road. I don't think I've stopped at this station yet in my time playing this particular DLC. Although, at least I'm pretty certain I've not stopped at that station yet. Lock those doors. We're running behind a little bit